Hey, what's going on, guys? I have a real treat for you today, and that is someone who I wanted to bring on because I know it's going to bring a lot of value to a lot of you who are just starting out in solar, or those of you who are switching from the door knocking model to over the phone selling. He's 20-year-old. His name's James. He's been in solar for 3 years, but in the last few months, I think since the beginning of this year, he converted to selling over the phone, and he's crushing it. And obviously my goal is to help you guys gain new perspective, see that it's possible, believe that it's possible. He's only 20, so I know it's possible for every single one of you watching this video. Without further ado, let's get right into it, and I'll see you in a little bit. All right, so we got James in the house. James, what's going on, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thanks for of course, coming on to do the call, because I know we're gonna help a bunch of people, because a lot of people that are watching the videos are brand new. They're still like, in the midst of deciding whether to jump in solar, or they got in solar but they kind of not sure what the next step might be. A lot of them got in with the wrong companies, whatever. So we try to provide as much value as we can. All right, so I've got a list of questions I want to ask you. Obviously, we'll see if we have the time, but I want to give like a short intro about you, and then obviously you can take it from there. But basically, James is he's 20 years old, right? You're 20 or 21.
Yep. Yeah, I'm 20.
So still young, but he's succeeding in the solar space, and he's been in the industry for about 3 years now. And he's transitioned to from door knocking, from face-to-face appointments to over the phone. And of course, that's what a lot of the videos that I post on the channel are about. And that's what I wanted to kind of like bring you on, because to shed some light on how you do things. Okay, so tell us, bro, like, how did you get started in solar, like, shortly?
Okay, so for directly in solar to like door to door, basically at first what happened, it was just like a weird occurrence. My barber actually, he was telling me that about his brother that was really successful in solar in Arizona.
Mhm.
And I lived up in Idaho at the time. And I talked to him on the phone. He sounded like kind of sketch, like I never really, it just sounded like he was trying to sell me on something. And I've never liked being sold on something because I kind of been in sales my whole life. So I didn't really vibe with it. Then it was kind of weird occurrence. My buddy that was in Arizona, he calls me. He says, "Hey, I just started solar at this random solar company," and I was like, "Okay, cool." So I went over there. Um, he like recruited me, whatever. He didn't know what
Yeah.
he was doing. He had just started. It was like a week fresh. So I hopped in. I didn't have like no mentors or anything. It was just me and him. We'd go out in the Honda Civic and we just hit doors for like the first 3 months. But I just kept, my
Right.
manager just kept promising and selling me this dream. And I was like, they're doing it. I got to do it. So I just kept watching like these YouTube videos about sales, reading sales books, all that type of stuff. And I just like, finally by the third month, it just hit and it started popping off. I was able to, set like 60 deals that summer, and get them closed. But I wasn't closing at the time. But
Did
that's
you
kind
have
of, yeah,
any?
how I hopped right in.
That's awesome. Did you have any sales experience prior, or was that your first ever gig in sales?
Like direct sales like that. Well, I did have like a lawn mowing business, and we like go door to door, and we try to like mow like the neighbors like
That's
lawns
awesome,
and
dude.
stuff. So it's kind of like,
So
yeah,
you're already entrepreneurial minded. You're like, I got to take life by the balls. You know,
yeah,
that's awesome.
man, had to.
Love it. So what made you, obviously now you've transitioned. That's how we met, actually. You told me that you were watching some of the videos on the channel. You're like, cool, bro. I like your videos, whatever, right? That's how we connected. And so, but I know you shared with me that you actually made the transition to doing everything face to face. And I saw your Instagram, and I'm like, wow, that guy really does what he preaches, in a way that, you're meeting with people, like you're helping them out, you're helping them save money, whatever. And I could really see that you're about the solar life. you know. But what made
Yeah.
you decide to make the switch to phone sales? Because I know now you're not doing face to face, you're just doing mostly I don't know if you do Zoom calls, mostly over the phone, right?
Yeah, I don't really do Zoom calls. Reason being is just how young I look. Like, I guess that's just been like a put off for customers and like my, journey of solar. But it's still like I'm able to like become their best friend or like their grandchild type of per thing and then, sell them after that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But kind of what made me just transition is like I realized I can only get to about 3 or 4 appointments a day if I'm going driving, unless it's in the same neighborhood. Maybe you could get to six. But
Yeah,
in phone sales, I was like, I don't care if I was thinking like doing the math and I was like, I don't care to sell every single person because I can get in, 10 to 12 like sits per day and run like a 30-minute sit. So I have
yeah,
30-minute increments in my calendar. So it's like 10, 10:30, 11, 11:30, 12, all the way through. So I was just
yeah.
like, in the metrics in my head, I'm like, I could just get through way more people, talk to way more people, talk to interested clients, and that's kind of like what made me just transition over.
That's awesome, dude. And how would you say your pitch? Because I've had a very difficult time when I was building my sales team. I had a very difficult time trying to teach old dogs new tricks. And by old, I mean people that have already used to talking to people face to face and stuff like that. You already have like habits built in, and you know not to take some of those because that's gonna ruin the sale if you try to do this over the phone. So what was your transition process, and how is your basically what I'm asking is how's your pitch different than face to face?
Mm,
Like
good
just
question.
walk us through the steps if you were to sell a deal over the phone.
Versus face to face.
Yeah, like how does it differentiate for you specifically?
I'd say when you're face to face, like you're really trying to sell yourself and you're really trying to like, have all that body language, you're able to
Yeah,
hand them stuff, you're able to show
yeah,
documentation. Now over the phone, it's a bit different because, I always try to keep in my mind, like they filled out the form and they're inquiring from me. So I try to switch the mindset to they want this from me and they're lucky to be speaking with me, not the other way around. Because if I come at it like that, then it's not like, oh, I'm trying to sell them on anything. You're the one who filled out the form. So they'll answer, what do you need? I don't need anything. You need something from me. So that's kind of like the transformation that from door to door to over the phone. I'd say
yeah,
like the biggest thing is just, making them know that you're the one in charge and you're the
yeah,
one who can help them achieve what they want to get.
yeah.
So that'd probably be the biggest thing.
Awesome. And what do you typically look for in a deal? How do you know, okay, I can help that customer, or that's probably a deal that's not going to go through?
Like a credit fail versus like someone who's actually gonna get approved, you're saying? Or what do you, can you re-ask the question?
No, like in a way that, okay, is it typical amount of money that you're looking to save people per month, or how do you like, because you obviously you have to build value and you have to it has to make sense for them in order to commit to the loan, right? Essentially.
Hmm. um so you're asking basically like what do I look for in a deal to be like, oh, this makes sense for the customer, rather than just
Yeah.
signing them up even if it doesn't make sense. I would
Yeah.
say, of course, savings up front, but like solar, like nowadays with the dealer fees that are going on right now,
Yeah.
everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
I've been actually teaching my customers about dealer fees and showing them that going with a higher interest rate and paying this off faster gives them a faster ROI. Now, I asked them, there's two things that matter. And Danny Pesci says this a lot. You probably know who that is. So he says, are you looking for ROI, or are you looking for an IRR? And they're always like, what's an IRR? It's an instant rate of return. So instant rate of return is how much can we save you from month one. But like I've been like literally selling bill bumps like 30, $40 to my homeowners because they know what they're going to save in the future.
That's
So I've been
awesome.
really
So you're
building value
building
like that.
value in the future of if they decide to go solar now, this is what you're going to get in the future. Like you're actually going to like now for the short term, maybe you're going to quote unquote lose money, but in the long term you're going to save a lot, right?
Yeah, but if it's a customer that's, they just want to see savings from day one, then obviously just give it to what they want. But
Yeah,
if you can actually help them out, and like what the like pitch I guess I've been using is like, I wouldn't do it for you unless I do it for my grandparents. So like
exactly.
that's kind of like what I tell the customer. So I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
let me just talk to you as if you're my family and just show you like what I think. And they're like, they listen.
You know, that's exactly what I tell my clients too. I'm like, if you're my best friend, would I give you that type of deal? Would I tell you what I'm telling you now? Because otherwise, that could jeopardize my relationship with my best friend. Or let's say you are my blood brother, right? I don't want to jeopardize my relationship with my brother or my best friend, right? So I'm going to tell them the truth. I'm going to tell them not what they want to hear, what they need to hear, right? So that's kind of like what you're iterating there with your point, right? So
100%.
how are you? I mean, a lot of people are asking this, bro. Like, if I stop doing, I mean, granted, I know some people are just getting started now, so they in solar, so they don't know which route to go. But those that are deciding to make the switch to phone sales, which is I'm obviously very big on, how are they generating leads? Like, how are you generating leads?
hmm so you could generate leads a few different ways, right? I've tried call centers, I've tried, buying data, I've tried doing cold calls. And, for some markets that works, like very saturated markets, like I guess Arizona isn't very good for Facebook leads. I don't know really why, but the metrics don't really line up. So, but right now, I've just been running Facebook leads. I use AI to create my videos, and I kind of just create like eye-catching videos. Like there's like, don't buy solar. Buying solar is the worst decision you can make for your house. Reason being is that you could get it for $0 out of pocket, if you qualify for these programs and da, 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 So it's basically just like the
It's
catch to
an
get them.
angle. It's an angle. Basically, that's what it is. It's to
Yeah.
catch. It's to catch is to make like because you imagine your customer scrolling through with the 10 or 15 minutes that they got in between work or whatever, right? And so you have to very very quickly, something has to intrigue them so much so that they stop scrolling. And that's exactly what
hmm
you're doing there. So I get it, dude. 100%. So you're generating, I know, because we've spoken before, but I know that you do multiple states. So what is kind of like do you have like a set of rules when deciding which state to sell in? Like, where are you gonna start selling essentially?
If my installer installs there and they have a buyback program, or at least net metering in some sort of form, I'll sell there. Like I don't really pick and choose. I just know which states work and which states don't at this point. So I've kind of
Mhm.
just narrowed that down. Um, I Wisconsin has been a really good state right now for solar. I don't know why, but a lot of people like a lot of electric companies there really get net metering. They're paying a lot for their electricity. It makes sense to offset their bill in the summer so that they don't
Mhm.
have, as high of a bill. Because obviously they're higher bills in the winter because they have to run the heater and all that in the wintertime. But it's been a pretty good state, been able to save people a lot of money there. But I don't really pick and choose. Like, I mean, wherever the ad comes from or wherever the lead comes from, like whatever state, like, of course, I pick and choose like which states. But like, I guess kind of like, what's your question? Like, you're asking which exact states I want, or
Yeah, like what's your decision? Like, do you have any decision process when thinking about, okay, cool, I want to sell in AZ or I want to sell in Wisconsin, or do you? I mean, after talking to you, I already know like how, I mean, the CPL and everything else needs to make sense too, and obviously you need to have someone to install all your deals there. So I kind of get it, but is there anything else that you're looking for, kind of like high bills or relatively high, where you could actually see the potential that if you were to convert someone to solar, you could actually help them save?
yeah, no, for sure. Like Illinois, Texas, deregulated markets like
Mhm.
Philadelphia,
Yeah,
where they have SRAC, all that type of stuff. Do you know how SRAC works? Pretty dope. I didn't even know about how SRAC worked
no.
until I started phone sales. They basically the state will pay them $1,000 a kilowatt.
Yeah.
So let's say the system's 22 kilowatts, they're going to get $22,000 from the state along with the 30% tax credit. So solar makes so much sense in like Illinois, Philadelphia,
Oh, you mean
places
the
like
state
that. So,
incentive on top of the federal?
mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That I just didn't know it was called that. Yeah, I get that. I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, for
I don't
sure.
know what it stands for exactly, but yeah, I just learned about it when I started doing phone sales. I didn't even know they had that type of opportunity out there.
Yeah, yeah,
So
dude.
pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's cool, man. So, how many like my next question is a lot of people are asking about installers and this, that, and the other. So, how many installers do you I want you to talk to people about installers because I kind of know your opinion, but like how many installers are you currently working with and yeah.
Let's say I'm working with let's see, about like 26 different installers.
Wow.
Reason being is just because I stopped being loyal to just the solar company itself and more loyal to the customer because I don't really care at the end of the day if the installer doesn't want to like use me as like a sales rep or they want to
Yeah.
like deactivate me from their systems. Like that's fine because I'm just gonna find the best thing for the customer every time. Like I want to like we're doing this for the customer. Like I feel like where reps mess up a lot is they just kind of fall into the pit of, well, oh, I started with this company, I'm going to lose my friends if I transition, they start working for this other company. I mean, those aren't even your friends at the end of the day
Yeah.
if they're not, if they're holding you back from like going to something that's actually going to potentially do better for you. So once I realized that, and I did fall into that loophole myself for the first year and a half, 2 years of solar, staying at the wrong company that wasn't for the best of my interests. So I guess trying to find an install company that's best for your customer is just like the number one best thing you could do for yourself and the customer.
I love it, bro. I love it when you said that you want to be loyal to your customers, which is at the end of the day who you're trying to help, and not the installer. Which is exactly what I do
Mm.
tell people. Sometimes they don't get it because they're like, aren't you supposed to be loyal to one? I'm like, no, you're that's why you're doing this. You go like if you wanted to be loyal to somebody, go work for a company. Okay, that's totally fine. But at the end of the day, if you're a loyal kind of individual and you want to be someone who's seen as loyal, again, be loyal to your customer. You don't have to be loyal to your install because at the end of the day, they don't care about you. They only care about you if you're bringing deals. If you're not, no one cares about you, right? And so, but we do all of us that are in solar, like we do care about actually helping our customers. So it makes more sense to be more loyal to them than the installer, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so that's cool, man. I mean, like where are you trying to get to in solar? Like what do you have any goals? Like where are you kind of like taking it day by day, or are you thinking like, okay, I want to grow like a massive org? Like what's the deal?
So that, like, I don't know, like I kind of am the type of person, I'm a strong believer in God, and I
Mhm.
just kind of let my him control my life, not in the way of just being naive, but just working hard, doing what I'm like know I'm supposed to do every day, waking up, taking care of the stuff I know I'm supposed to take care of. But I mean, I do have goals, and like I don't really talk about my goals because I just, I don't want to like set stuff there and then something else happens because life can change like this, and I've
Yeah,
seen it a
yeah,
million times. But what I've kind of seen like my life like start like drastically changing to the past like I'd say 4 or 5 months is like really the capability of being able to train and help others succeed. And I really like my goal and like passion of sales, solar, and like everything that I've learned since I've been in the industry is just helping others. Because I don't know, I just have never got a better feeling than putting somebody onto this or
yeah.
onto something like this, teaching them that, and then watching them succeed. It feels so good. Um, but I would say like my goal is probably to have a like an agency and also a sales work. So like I'm actually providing value leads and all of the appointments to my sales org, and then just
That's
have
awesome.
like a massive online sales org. So
That's awesome,
yeah.
dude. I'm stoked for you. I know you're gonna get it. I know you're gonna hit all your goals and exceed them. So I'm not worried about that at all. You're freaking 20, bro. Fuck. So but okay, so for anyone kind of like watching, bro, because I know you're already doing this, and a lot of people would wanna, they would want to get to where you're at, essentially, with the knowledge that you have, with everything that you're doing right now in solar. So what is like one piece of advice that you can give someone who's just starting out and is not kind of like not sure what to do, whether to go and work for a company, whether to branch off right at the start and basically, go solo? Like, what do you have any piece of advice for someone who's trying to decide what to do?
The biggest thing to me would just be making sure that you have the right mentor in place, because there's the difference in someone who's trying to actually help you versus someone who's trying to just teach you enough to where they can use you for a certain period of time and make money off of you. Because and the big thing that I've seen lately in like these sales organizations and like versus going solo is like you're always going to have that person who brought you on that's like getting like the override or whatever, and like
Yeah.
it's like why are you I don't know, I just don't like it. It's just like a bad vibe. But um I would say like the biggest like piece of advice I could give somebody if they're like just hopping in is definitely, just starting with a company, doesn't matter what, and just learning like the ins and outs and just the basic knowledge of it, and then before transitioning over. So I say mentor is the biggest thing. Find somebody who's gonna actually, if you have to pay, like it's worth investing in yourself. Like find somebody who's going to actually, help you and wants to see you succeed. And if you don't feel that, move on. Keep going to the next company until you find somebody who's actually your type of person, has your type of headspace, because you're not going to get along with everybody. It's just
Yeah.
the matrix of life.
Yeah.
So I'd say like that's would be the biggest thing, is finding someone who's actually going to be there for you.
That's pretty cool, bro. I'm exactly the same way. Now I've come to the realization that you just, I mean, just either pay with your time or uh, you know, or with money to somebody who's ahead of you and who could show you the ropes of anything that you're trying to learn, because that will save you so much time, energy, and resources in the future. And I didn't used to have that back when I was starting out, just in business in general. Like I was trying to hold on to the little money that I had, and I'm like, I'm not gonna spend anything. And that's why I was at for so long. So, but I'm with you 100%. But that's cool, man. You should start your own YouTube channel, bro. I feel your passion for teaching for sure. And I know you're gonna do big things in solar. And who knows, maybe we'll have you back on the channel. We'll see how people,
Yeah, man.
like it, but I'm sure they're gonna love it because it's great to see an outsider perspective. It's not just mine. And that's freaking awesome, dude. Thanks for
Yeah,
hopping on.
of course, man. I'll talk to you later.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so we boost it in the algo. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the future uploads. We do post a lot of videos about solar, and I try to bring at least a couple of videos a week, every single week for you guys, so you have more value, more knowledge to go out there and kill it in solar and anything that you want to do. All right, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you want to generate solar leads but you don't know how, get my free ebook down below in the description. It's called Unlimited Leads. It's absolutely free. I know you're going to enjoy it, and I'll see you again in the next video.